A century before Aegon Targaryen set his sights on Westeros, a cataclysmic volcanic event known as the Doom obliterated the great empire of Valyria. Out of the ashes, only one family of dragon lords survived, isolating themselves on the dark, rocky outpost of Dragonstone. Across the narrow sea to their west lay Westeros. It was a massive continent split into 7 distinct kingdoms, all trapped in an endless cycle of conventional medieval warfare, swords, shields, and grueling infantry campaigns. This data visualization illustrates the sheer mathematical absurdity of Aegon's ambition to conquer the entire continent. He commanded a force of roughly 3,000 men, contrasted here against the towering block of the hundreds of thousands of Westerosi troops he would face. To balance this impossible math, Aegon brought 3 dragons. The largest of these was Balerion the Black Dread, a beast so massive his silhouette swallowed an entire town in darkness as he flew overhead. Aegon designed his invasion as a psychological stress test. He intended to break the resolve of rulers who relied on outdated methods of accumulating and projecting power. His first test subject was King Harren the Black, the ruler of the Islands and the Riverlands. Harren had recently completed Harrenhal, the largest and thickest fortress ever constructed on the continent. When Aegon offered him a chance to surrender, Harren refused. He locked his gates, certain that because ordinary fire cannot burn thick stone, his massive walls made him invincible. Balerion's black flames reached temperatures that liquefy solid rock. The towers of Harrenhal bubbled and ran like melting wax under the heat. The immense heat turned the greatest fortress in history into a colossal oven. King Harren and his entire bloodline were roasted alive inside the very structure meant to protect them. For centuries, the accepted logic of medieval warfare dictated that thick walls kept you alive. Harrenhal proved that against a dragon, a castle is nothing more than a giant tomb. Witnessing the destruction of Harrenhal, the remaining rulers abandoned their castles entirely. King Mern of the Reach and King Loren of the Westerlands forged a massive alliance to meet Aegon in the open field. They assembled 55,000 men into strict formations, completely dwarfing Aegon's vanguard, the largest pitched army in Westerosi history. In response, Aegon deployed all 3 dragons simultaneously. 3 expanding circular blast zones instantly wiped out the alliance's rigid troop formations. In an event recorded as the Field of Fire, 4,000 men burned to ash in a matter of minutes. King Mern's entire bloodline was eradicated on the spot, and King Loren surrendered. Packing tens of thousands of men into tight, organized ranks creates a massive, static target. When the enemy controls the sky and drops aerial fire, high troop density guarantees maximum casualties. Further north, Torrhen Stark marched 30,000 Northmen down to the Trident River. When he arrived, he found Aegon waiting, his army heavily reinforced by surrendered troops, and all 3 dragons resting on the riverbank. Torrhen looked at the host and made a crucial calculation. He chose the personal humiliation of laying down his crown over the guaranteed agonizing annihilation of his people. The Dornish leadership looked at the charred ruins of Harrenhal and the ashes of the Field of Fire and decided to abandon their castles. They vanished into the desert terrain, relying on grueling guerrilla warfare and evading the dragons to bleed the Targaryen forces slowly. Survival required absolute flexibility. A ruler had to either swallow their pride and submit, or completely discard the established rules of honorable medieval combat. By the end of his campaign, Aegon successfully brought 6 of the 7 warring kingdoms under a single, unified rule. To cement this new reality, he collected the thousands of swords yielded by the kings and lords who had fought, fallen, or knelt during the conquest. He piled these blades into a towering mound and commanded Balerion to unleash his fire, violently fusing the glowing, jagged metal into the most dangerous, uncomfortable seat in the world. The Iron Throne served as a constant physical reminder of the heat that created it. The Targaryen dynasty ruled for 300 years, relying on the threat of total destruction represented by that seat. Aegon's invasion replaced 7 warring kingdoms with a single empire forged in dragonfire. Thank you for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the lore of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments which piece of Westerosi history